Mm. Okay, guys, welcome back to episode 3 of Hack the Planet podcast. Um, yeah, I'm your main host, Synak. With me today is just Ryu. Say hello, Ryu.
Hello, hello.
Yo.
And I think as we all could hear, you're not feeling too well today, are you?
No, I'm dying inside, my guy. I'm dying inside. It seems my interior body has finally caught up with my. I'm dying on the inside and on the outside now. So
Well, sometimes just be like that, my man.
yeah, but you know what isn't dying?
Oh,
Overwatch Tier 2. Let's fucking get right into it. Let's go.
let's get right into
What
it.
a segue. Okay, welcome back to Hack the Planet. We're back after a pause. I needed to take some time to detox and evaluate my life choices. You know, go on a walk, find myself, pilgrimage and all that shit. But now we back. We on the grind. Hit me with the first piece of news, Ryu. Go for it, my guy.
Well, the thing is, you ask about one piece of news. There has been a lot of pieces of news over the past couple of days only. And we've been gone for about 2 weeks now, I think.
Yeah, we have.
About
Yeah,
2 weeks?
2 or 3 weeks. Yeah.
But man, the past 3 days have been wild. They have been wild all over Overwatch and at all the levels of play. And then you can talk, and then we haven't even talked about the actual performance of teams and games that have been played, but just about roster announcements.
Yeah, exactly. So much shit. Like we're
So,
recording this. We're recording this just as I am 37 or Jin to the Toronto Defiant has been announced.
yes,
So roughly 3 hours, just under 3 hours till Overwatch League's return and Philly versus Nixel. But yeah. Anyway.
my man actually called it Nixel.
Oh, NYXL.
My insights.
Oh, it's G-Joe and Ack
My
all
ears
over
are
again.
bleeding.
It's G-Joe and Ack all over again.
Oh no, Jay Janu. Oh,
Jay Janu.
okay. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish I could talk a lot about the I'm 37 or Jin trade, but you look at his pro career, and it's basically, you can basically summarize that within like 5 words, right? It's wave check, open division, second wind, leave second wind, Toronto Defiant. How many words is that? 8?
That's about 8.
That's about it.
My man, Speedrun. There you go.
The real Crusher
that's-
99. But
that's
for real
3.
though,
That's 3.
the thing is though, everything that I have seen the game with Mayhem Academy, where he's on second win, and he did well. He did good, but people have said, and the words in the words across the community is that this guy is just an absolute beast. He is just
Yeah.
very, very good.
I'm excited, man, because
'Cause he's replacing Stellar, because
yes,
other news, Stellar retired suddenly
Yes.
from the Toronto Defiant
retires
due
for
to
personal reasons, which
personal reasons.
I believe that is just a case of burnout, pretty much. I think
Yeah.
he's probably just like not adjusted, and if I were
It
to
reminds
guess,
me. It reminds me of the effect situation.
yeah, if I were to guess, it's just like bit of burnout, and he just thought this isn't for me. I'm gonna go and
Yeah, but he did. He was there
something else.
starting Zarya, right?
no, he was their break. Ivy was their Zarya.
Right, right. Of course, I didn't see a lot of Toronto games.
Stella was out of the 3 DPS from. I don't think Toronto fans should be too upset about this. Obviously, Stella was a part of the team and he was one of the first announced. So
Yeah.
losing a player like always sucks because he's going to be someone's fan favorite, like for Toronto
Sure.
fans, and that's kind of shitty. But at the end of the day, I think Ivy covered a lot of the heroes for him, and I was
Yeah.
saying at the time, like after revealing their final roster, if they added someone like a Gamsu, but this was before I knew how good Yakpun was, and I think Yakpun is 100% their main tank, or Striker, which was my other option, someone who could help next to Ivy. I think if 37 can be or Jin, we'll call him Jin, I think if Jin can be a top 10 in his category on the heroes he plays, Defiant are going to be honestly better. I think they'll be better than they were. I
The
think
thing is, though,
Stella
the thing
was
is,
the weak point on that team, I think, in my opinion. Just
Yeah.
his lack of hero pool. He played Sombra, and he didn't even play Tracer. He was their hit stand, he didn't even play Tracer. Ivy played Tracer.
yeah.
But damn.
But the thing is that Ivy is their Zarya player.
Yes.
Jin is also a Zarya player,
Right.
and Jin is not a break player. So
Ivy.
what's up with that, Toronto Defiant? because as far as we know and as far as we can check in public matches and what's so not, this move, though I'm pretty excited for it, is still pretty surprising to me, especially because the brick player got dropped
Yeah,
at least, and they signed a Zarya player. Like, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna rotate Jin and Ivy and put Asher on brick?
yeah.
Are they gonna swap roles around? Like, Toronto, really curious to what you're gonna do. When is their first game?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Are they playing tonight? I'm just gonna. I'm
don't-
real check on it. Real
Don't
quick.
check while I talk about this and put a hoodie on to stop myself from freezing. So the thing with this is, I think we all know that Ivy is a consensus top 5 Zarya in the league. He has the
He's
most.
very good.
He has
yeah.
the most damage done in a single game on Hollywood versus the LA Valiant. Like, the kid's a fucking nutty Zarya. Like, we know how good he is.
Yeah. Defined are playing against the Washington Justice tomorrow
Easy
night,
one.
the second game.
Easy one. Then I'll probably just play Asher while he gets his visa if he's not in LA. So anyway,
Oof,
I
rough.
so either Ivy transitions over to the bridge and they stay confident in 37s, or Jin Zarya, or they just they put Jin on bridge. This is one that they're looking past Goat's meta and they're saying we're just going to pick up the best player for our position, which is Hitscan.
You feel like they're thinking of or maybe going back into a Tracer Widow meta, because these are good pickups for Tracer Widow, right?
Yeah, they're thinking past Goats, and that's kind of
Yeah.
obvious for anyone.
Yeah.
That,
I mean, Bishop is a really good coach, and they
Oh,
dropped
definitely.
one of their coaches as
yes,
um
Don, I think it was.
yeah, Don, right? But they still have Bishop and I forgot the other guys. You know,
No.
the assistant coach. Anyway, but Bishop has shown to be like a real forward thinker when it comes to picking up talent and playing playing the comps that his team is strongest at. Because when he was at Spitfire, he didn't really stage one. They didn't really follow sort of the best comp with Spitfire, but they played where their
They played dive. They just played flat 2-2-2 dive. Oh,
exactly. They
with
played
Mercy.
what their players are confident in and are best at, and that's why
Yeah.
how he like tries to get the best out of his players. And I feel like this is a pickup for that as well, to get like the best out of an individual player
I think
on their best heroes.
I think a lot of people underrate Bishop as
Yeah,
a
I think so
GM.
too.
A GM. Obviously, he got a bad rep as coach of formerly of Cloud9. I remember the clip of who was it? I think it was ZP asking Shaw for his comments on Bishop, and he was just like, no comment. And it was obviously I fucking hate this guy, no comment. But like, with all
Yeah,
that bad
but-
rep, Bishop was great. He
And,
put-
yeah, but then again, do you really want to do you really want to have someone based on one person's view on
no, absolutely not.
Bishop, right?
No,
Because Scherfer has also, I think, shown in the past that he's sometimes hard to motivate, to work, especially when you hear the stories when Fisher was still in Gladiators and
yeah.
how their team environment
Yeah.
was and stuff like that. So I don't know. I feel like Bishop is in the right place now with the
Oh,
players.
definitely. But he was. I think that old Cloud9 roster sort of echoed Shawfall's sentiment. But like, at the end of the day, I
Yeah.
still like give me Bishop though. Like, I think if you bring him into the Spitfire, like at the moment, he'd probably turn that around. Like, I mean,
I
he
think
helped-
that's also like the big problem. One of the problems with Spitfire is that they don't have a big brain Overwatch, really experienced Overwatch coach at the moment, because their GM, right, is coach A15 or something,
yeah, 815.
A15, but he's not Overwatch veteran. He comes from another esport.
Yeah, it comes from
So
for successful esport though.
yeah, it's true, but then again, it's like when you look at like football or soccer and you put a very successful basketball coach on
Yeah.
a team, and you're like, probably knows a lot about coaching and how to handle players, but the actual game itself is just like,
Yeah.
do you want your biggest authority figure, let's say in the locker room, to be someone who doesn't understand what you're doing, or doesn't understand as well as some of the big brain coaches in the league on other teams?
The thing with this is, like, London last year worked as a core of coaches. Like, now that I think Chan Yoon is the biggest.
Yeah,
That's like a bigger loss than any that London have had so far. Just like
Yeah.
Chan Yoon was one of the Busan coaches, and Busan's coaches were like big brain. So like,
Yeah.
London always seemed like a collective group of coaches, like with Jay Feel, Agape, and Chan Yun. Now it's just Jay Feel and Agape, I think. And
Yeah.
like the role of 815 is to just like, well, just oversee it and like make sure the players are, turning up on time and they're not too stressed out or,
He's just a general manager.
yeah, he's just like, I'd say
Well,
hub,
if
but
I
he's
hope
useful.
that's the case and doesn't involve himself too much
Mm.
the actual game, like in basically the actual planning of the game strategies.
Thing with London is like they are such I mean, they seem very competent and intelligent as a bunch to figure up answers themselves. Like I've seen the very short glimpses that Spitfire give the public into meetings and stuff after games. Like they just lost like 3-1 to Philly, and he's totally chilled out. He's just like,
The
it's fine.
Spitfire never seemed like a team who's absolutely bombed out by losses.
No.
I feel like they're a pretty happy bunch of players, aside from maybe Bird Ring, but he has like a history being up and down and very emotional while playing, like very emotional. And when he's on top of his game, he pops off and he's the best player in the world. And when he's not, he's kind of like a Taimu 2.0, right?
Yeah. No, that's a fair analysis actually. Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Anyway, like
Yeah, moving on.
so. Yeah, no, like we have Jin to the Toronto Defiant, but that's not the only thing that happened because
No,
the
we have
two
so much more.
two of the, I mean, do I want to say? I feel like two of the good performing teams is States One in Fuel and the Uprising,
Yeah.
from which the Uprising was especially surprising after their really lackluster off season.
I have them about 18th on my power ranking, so I'm going to stick with it. I think they hard drop, to be honest. I don't think they're going to keep dropping, but anyway.
Yeah, but they got involved into a pretty nasty transfer deal or trade deal, I gotta say, which was very surprising to me. But I feel like it wasn't as surprising to you. Your opinion on this?
Yeah. So we talked about this earlier. One thing I didn't mention, which I'll drop in now, is Boston made bank off. Boston made bank off this deal, dude. There's no way they didn't. Like, come on.
Yeah, I think so too. There's no way they just traded like that.
They made bank off this deal, selling no, and clearly the someone that they thought was brought in wasn't too far away, and I don't think RCK is too far away. Like the dude's more flexible than No. I'll give him that. Is he a better diva? Well, no. Note was the best Western diva in Stage 1. Don't give me that. Yeah. Space was good. He was on an 0-7 team. King Michael was right. Don't give me any of that shit, because I'm not having it. Anyway, so Boston have made bank off that deal. They've gotten in RCK.
Yeah, I think Huck is not the type of person who would just trade their basically best player on a team for another player just for the lulz of it, you know. So
definitely
here you go. Have the best Western diva on her, who's who's totally fine on our team. You know, you can have him. We'll take an still kind of unproven player from your team. Doesn't matter. They made big bucks at this.
Defo. Unless like it's revealed that Note made like he did a striker or he did a Neko and he proper threw skulls out the
I don't see that happening.
Yeah, we never know, but I mean
we never know, but
there is a chance that they've made bank off the deal. So as well as that,
very big.
It seems like now Dallas and will hop and skip a bit. They've just brought in Damon or Bayman as head coach after he resigned from the resigned in question marks from the Paris Eternal.
That's a very weird situation as well, because I actually am in that he just got an offer from Fuel.
You think he's got an offer?
That's why he resigned to Paris.
Because he's a tank coach for Fuel now.
Yeah, but you really think that he would just get dropped? Because the things happen so close to it, right? The announcements happened super close. Like he got dropped one day from Paris. Literally 2 days later, he got signed as a tank coach. The Dallas Fuel, and one day before that, Coco got dropped as a tank coach. Like, there's a lot of stuff happening in like 2 days.
Yeah,
as the Dallas
maybe
Fuel.
That's super. I not really considered it. I thought it was just like they wanted to release Coco because they were eyeing someone and they seen that he's gone. But if Dallas had come in there and slapped about, a hefty offer,
I think I can see it. I can totally see it.
Maybe.
The thing is that because of this trade to the boss, like from like if we go back to the trade from Note
RCK, yeah.
and RCK, to me at first glance it didn't make sense at all
Mm.
because um Dallas are selling their trump card to the thing that they're actually good at, which
Mm.
is Sombra Goats, and they sell their Sombra Diva player, which played I think basically every map
Yeah, RCK
after
was it.
like the first week,
Yeah.
and they just sell that off, and now they're bringing in Note a couple days or a week or so before. We don't know how long he has
Mm.
sprint time with a few, probably like at least one or at the most 2 weeks.
He'll be fine though.
And
He'll be
yeah,
he'll be fine. Honestly, he'll slot in easily.
but the
It
thing
won't
is
be
that
that.
this team has played a stage long seven match weeks. They played Sombra Goats. They figured out Sombra Goats. They tried to figure out
Mm.
other teams with their Sombra Goats, and now they're gonna play Note because he's gonna start. Of course, there's no way someone else is gonna pick up the Diva,
Mm.
or they're gonna play Mickey. But
No, they're
let's
not
be real
playing.
here.
No, they're not playing Mickey. Just
No, so they're gonna transition in Goats team.
yeah.
I
So
think.
the thing with this
Because
is,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, alright then. So the thing with this is, obviously, as I was saying earlier, before we were discussing it before we came on, um, just being knowledgeable about goats and composition stuff and actually speaking to coaches. It sounds like I'm trying to flex, but I'm really not. This is just how it's viewed. Sombra is, in a sense, a cheese comp. It's
I've
it's
heard that opinion a
it's
lot
a
already.
it's a cheese comp essentially. Like goats is the meta comp and Sombra is the cheese comp.
It's
So
basically the comp you play when you know you're not confident enough in your
exactly,
goats against your
like
opponent. So you run Sombra as like a
if you play Sombra goats, you telegraph to the enemy that you're not confident in your normal goats. And
yeah.
I don't think Dallas were ready to use Sombra goats as a crutch. So I thought, let's just get in a proper good diva and let's just learn goats properly now. And let's, especially if they brought in a Damon who knows how to play goats. Like the problem with Paris, I don't think was that their coaches didn't know how to implement the team. It's that their players honestly
Their players were just
weren't
lackluster.
weren't good enough.
No. In
Hips decent.
in some roles, like
Hips
there are good
decent.
spots on Paris.
Now I think Bayman's gone. I think Cloudy plays more. Which is I think Halo was tweeting that as well. I rated Cloudy.
Hope so.
I rated Cloudy over Ben Best. And I think now I'm excited because I want to see Cloudy play. I think, especially if we get into Monkey Goats, Cloudy's Monkey is definitely better.
Oh yeah.
And also
And he plays
Daniel.
Wrecking Ball as well.
Yeah,
Plays it a lot on ladder.
Cloudy's just I think a better main tank than Ben Best.
I've always been the opinion that Cloudy should have started from the get go.
Oh,
But I think it's just because they started so many of their French players
Yeah,
that
it's a synergy from World Cup.
you're just gonna put in Bembes. But I feel like if Cloudy's gonna start, maybe we're gonna see some great play time as well.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Hip has been more than okay. I don't think great.
Yeah, Hip has been pretty
I
good. Their
think-
support line, except for Cruz's kind of over aggressive playstyle, has been pretty good overall.
Yeah, like Finzy's been decent as well. Like if Cloudy and
Yes.
Finzy can smack it off, then.
And Nico has been a good brick. Like Nico builds his fucking rallies in an insane amount of time.
Yeah,
I think he's actually a pretty good brick. I don't know. I mean, he has a solid flex.
so the problem with Goats is that I feel like it can be totally reliant on how much of a hard carry your Ryan and your Zarya are. And for Paris, there's Ryan or there's Zarya weren't hard carries. So when they come up against the weaker Ryan and Zaryas, it worked and they won. But when they came up against even slightly competitive Ryan and Zaryas, like they got shit on. Did they play Philly? I feel like did Paris play Philly or did they play Shock? Which one was it?
Let me see. I got their Let's see where.
It's terrible knowledge, but I'll just go on talk to about the Goats matchups a bit. So yeah, so Sombra is essentially cheese comp, and I'm guessing Dallas didn't want to rely on the crutch of Sombra Goats, especially in the case of if it goes away. And they thought, let's just learn to play proper normal Goats, because then if we get good at normal Goats, we're fine, and we're going to be good. Like, they're going to be a much better team, rather than trying to cheese wins with Sombra Goats.
Yeah, I think in the long run, this is.
And also, you can't run Sombra Goats on some maps. Like, we've seen the Spitfire do it on a attack on 66. You just can't do that, because you get spawn camped. And, like, even against like Paris, not mechanically best, but they knew how to play. So yeah,
Yeah,
what else? It's
that's that's true. Yeah,
it's
the
an
thing is,
interesting
like, you
trade.
can see in Paris, right, that if you look back at their games, every time they lost to the Rain 4-0, where
Mm,
they ran Zarya as the Fran Popo, which has
yeah,
been a very good duo. Then they played Titans. Well, we all know how good Titans are, and especially how good
Simon Sue.
Solomon Sue and Bumper are.
Yep.
And then they go into a game against Philly, which was pretty close for the first two
Yeah,
maps.
sort
But
of.
then,
Ryan is kind of dog shit,
yeah,
but his
but then
monkey is.
still, because Philly is just overall a more talented team, they managed to
Yeah,
live through.
Carpe's Zarya is better, and he's able to.
No,
Zarya is the hard carry hero in this meta.
I don't understand why Parents doesn't play Danya. I don't understand.
Maybe
Is he
they don't rate
really
it.
not good enough?
Maybe they don't rate it, or they think they offer more. Obviously, Shadowburn has experience on Zarya, but that's always
And he
it's a
wasn't
different
that good either.
it's a different play style. Like you play Zarya on triple tank maps, and your whole thing would be to occasionally you just bubble for energy. Like you didn't need to hit um, clutch insane bubbles. Like everyone in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Overwatch
you
League.
didn't have to think so much.
No, yeah,
Build
like
up your own energy, do damage.
you farm Grav. Like you
Yeah.
have to be really precise and calculated with bubbles in goats,
Yep.
because you can get hard punished for it. We
It's
see
just you just need a bigger brain for it.
exactly, and that's I think why Sinatra's adapted so well, because he's become a really good Zarya, and like
Yeah.
his if you
I
compare him
think he's
to World
the
Cup
only
to
one
now,
where we can actually see
the
like
improvement.
his improvement,
Mm.
because we have seen World Cup. We've all seen the
Oh
World
yeah,
Cup,
World Cup
and
versus
oof,
now, such a massive difference. They fucking
that was
London fucking sped on him. They went through the whole of last point on I think it was 66 again actually. They went through the whole of last point at 66 just
yeah,
because he inted
UK
personal
team.
bubble,
Yeah,
and that was
that was yeah, that was super rough. But then you go into then you see that, and you go get closer to the league, and you get to hear this rumors of how good Shock is. You're like, oh, yeah, I can see Shock being pretty good. And then you get the more specific rumors that Shock is actually really good because of Sinatra on the Zarya, and you're like, for real, man. And then the rumors get even more specific that people or teams and coaches are actually looking at Sinatra, Zarya, and Goats to learn from, and then to imply on their team's way of playing. And like, damn, that is some hefty improvement if I've ever seen one.
mm. So looking at this from the Titans Discord, I googled Sinatra because I know there was stats. If I'm
Mm-hmm.
right here, wait, I think it looks like that. Yeah, Sinatra like hard keeps up with him. He might maybe even out damages that. He maybe even out damages him.
Who's Summon Su?
Yeah, in the final.
I mean, I think they're easily the top two Zaryas.
Oh,
I
definitely.
couldn't say who is the better at the moment.
I'd say Semensu, even still. Like Semensu's
You
my
see,
man.
I think the only reason you can give him the edge is because
You might have to repeat that. Your mic is going. Yeah, your mic is hella stuffed, my guy. So I'll talk to fill the dead air. So Semensu versus Sinatra was interesting. Obviously, good to see Sinatra adapt, but I think the point that Ryo was trying to make was that the Titans' supports were. I think Semensu had a better team around him for goats, and obviously he has so much more internal synergy with Bumper than Super does with Sinatra because they've played together for longer. But also, Semensu broke his thumb, dude. He broke his other thumb and played finals with a broken thumb. My man won finals with 4 fingers. Like, what a god.
there is there are stories from the Titans in general about the hospital thing where he just
Your mic is. I can't hear you, my guy. I can't hear you at all. Your mic is stuffed. Yeah, it's not working. Shit, let me carry on talking just to fill the air while you can fix. But from watching the finals, I'm glad that that was actually the best goats that we'd seen so far. It was frustrating it took till finals to see some actual good goats and pretty flawless goats, but it took a while, but I'm glad we finally got there. I still think Shark are going to be a top team going into the later stages, and I think even in dive meta they just have so much. They have so many resources. Obviously, they've lost to DPS now that Baby Bay's gone to Atlanta. I think he's going to be good for them there. Um, Offering a bit of a hit stand role. The only problem is that they've lost if the Tracer ever comes back into meta, but maybe they're confident in the Lear's Tracer. I'm not particularly too high on it. However, he didn't play on the best team on LNL, and he's going to be playing with much better players now. Again, staying with Atlanta, they've now brought in also Fried Wiener or Fried from Gladiators Legion. He's gone to play Fletch Tank. There you go, your mic's better now. He's gone to play Fletch Tank from Legion to the Atlanta. Definitely a backup to Darko, because as long as Diva is still meta, he's not going to get played over Darko. Just Darko is just too good, but if Darko gets injured or Zarya comes in, then I expect to see maybe Fried and Gator as your tank line.
I think this is for now completely deep back. No, nothing more.
Oh, defo. Yeah, I don't think it can be anything more at the moment.
Have we mentioned Persia yet? Boston Uprising.
No, we haven't.
Because that is a very interesting pickup to me.
I did a bit of a scout on Persia. He won Pacific Season 2, came 5th to 8th Season 3, and came 5th to 8th Season 1 for Talent Esports in the Pacific. So he's popped the maybe it's I'm guessing he's popped the fuck off in Pacific, but like Pacific as a region is I think the weakest out of all of them. It's just run by Blank Esports, who have now signed Damon, by the way.
Blank is back in Australia, though.
Is it? I thought it was Pacific.
No, they're back in Australia since
right.
Season
3. They were in, I think.
Yeah, they were the Contenders Season 1, but they went back to Australia a while ago already. But yeah, they're now in Contenders. But anyway, Persia came in from Pacific. I think it just popped the fuck off in tryouts, or like
probably. I mean, Hook has
there's nothing else we can really say about it because I haven't watched a lot of Pacific Contenders. No, I've not. Especially not Talon Esports games.
Water came from Pacific, didn't he?
Yeah, he came from Kefri's team, Global Esports Pantheon.
Yeah. He's been really good for Gladiators Legion.
Yeah, but I think players individually can still be really good, even though they come from your contenders.
Oh, definitely. Yes. We saw this. Everyone was. I mean, to be fair, I think now people have just underestimated China. People were a bit like, they're a good Korean team, but they've been kind of smurfing in China. But we know how good Lucky Features Zenith have been. Like, even Michelle, who people weren't the highest on, has been really good for Seoul. Like, he's been a really good Diva and a good Sombra. And that's been like
this
so
is
good for them.
My opinion on lesser regions like China, Pacific, Australia, and South America have always been that individually the players would probably not differentiate so much from the top regions. It's just that the team play, the strategies, and the comps that are run are just a bit more all over the place. But individually and pure mechanical skill, there are probably still insane players in every region.
I can agree with that to a sense because the gap between tier 2 and tier 1 really isn't that big. The coaching difference.
Not on the mechanical skill level now.
There's a mass difference between coaching, but you saw what a bunch of Contenders players did when they had an Overwatch League level GOATS coach against Overwatch League level players with an Overwatch League coach. And spoiler alert, UK versus USA 3-1. So
it's what you get, right? I mean, it's like the Overwatch is just Overwatch, and the game is just like the game, you know. It's like if someone is talented, if someone has the mechanical skill to pop off one Widowmaker and shoot 6 people in the face and win you a round, like you can find someone like that in Argentina as well as in fucking Korea as well as in America, you know. Like, it doesn't matter where you're from. If your mechanical skill is insane, you just gotta have to work your way up. But I feel like the unfortunate thing with Overwatch League is of course that's an NA based. It's an NA based for now. NA based league. League. moment. So every short-term pickup right now will probably be NA contenders players
Oh, defo.
because
Also, because of easiness with visas as well. You've got to remember that.
yeah, that's what I was getting at is that if you want to pick up, if for example, Atlanta dropped the friend, right? So they want to look for a new Zarya player, and in my opinion, if you would, if regions wouldn't matter, the first three you would look at is probably Spectral, Davin, and Logix. I
Yeah.
mean, Logix is in NA, but those are like Spectral and Davin from EU, especially fucking Davin because the guy's a god in Goats on Zarya.
I still don't know why he's been signed to an Overwatch League team. Like, he must have
No,
killed
the thing
someone's
is,
nan or some
nobody
shit.
knows.
He must have killed someone's nan. Like, come on, brother.
It's sad, but the thing is, like, you can't sign him on short notice because you can't be like, "Hey, I'm gonna sign this guy, and he's gonna play for us in under 2 weeks, and we'll be good." But you can't do it because he needs a visa. Or he's gonna go into a visa process, and it's gonna take weeks and weeks, and maybe even months. Who knows?
Yeah.
Or you can just go to NA contenders and pick some sort of average Zarya up, or just a good
Coach them that way. Yeah, exactly.
and get him to start literally the next week. And it costs you less money, less hassle, and it might make your team just a little bit worse than when you eventually put in, a Devon type of player. But it will probably still do the job. It will probably get you into playoffs. So why not?
Well, you've mentioned visas, so I'm going to go ahead and bomb it. Yan Zhaolong is coming to LA. Pogu.
It's happening, boys.
Wan
It's
Zhaolong.
happening.
He's getting
We've
that
talked
fucking
about Yoda Chat Amen. The absolute Yoda Chat of Hitscan DPS is finally coming to the USA.
Let's fucking go, dude. So, bit of background on Wan Zhaolong if anyone's watching and they're unfamiliar. Probably shouldn't be if you're watching this podcast, but hey, we'll fill you in anyway. Wan Zhaolong, Chengdu Hunters, formerly Miraculous Youngster, had Leave, GQN, Late Young, the tank line who are both now on Chengdu Hunters, Leave, World Cup, and just, yeah, everyone else.
Yeah, Sky was on the roster, who was
Shanghai Dragons.
yes,
now-
and Creed was their main support, who is now a coach for Hangzhou, I think. Yeah, he's a coach for Hangzhou now.
Is he coaching Hangzhou now? I thought he was coaching
Creed.
Shanghai.
I think any of the two. I actually don't know, but he's coaching now in Hangzhou or Shanghai. Anyway, Yang Jialang.
Mm.
So,
So, nut of a player, Hitstan, DPS. Hopefully
yes.
he gets the PUBG buff. Left for PUBG. It's been difficult because of the politics between China and the USA. So, that's a bit annoying.
The thing is, like, when he comes in. I think Chengdu might actually be the perfect team for Yang Jialang.
Oh, definitely, because they just play weird shit.
Exactly, and he can just roll into their starting six and just whip out his McCree and run everyone over with his just giant, big, flat brain of his, and just go shoot people in the face, and everyone would be like, "How? What is this?" And then Chengdu would be like, "It's just how you roll, you know."
I mean, Jinmu is a fucking suicidal level DPS. Like,
Exactly.
he just gives no shits. Jinmu and Yan Zhaolong is going to be fucking hella fun to watch with our men.
But the thing is as well, because they now have Yang Xiaolan on their roster for stage 2. But to the end of stage 1, we've seen Bacon Jack in the roster. We've seen this guy play Widowmaker, and I'm like, oof, dude.
He's played Bastion as well. He's done a lot of
Yeah.
map dependent, obviously, but
I think overall this is going to be very, very good for Chengdu, of course.
I think
And it will just be more unpredictable.
definitely. I think Bacon Jack's mechanics have gotten better since PUBG, you know? I feel like they've gotten better, like, just judging him. But obviously, again, like, he's playing on a better team now, isn't he? He used to play on,
Bacon Jack was on Flash Wolves.
yes. Yeah, so not the strongest team, but now he's
Yeah,
playing
the Pacific, they were always top 4.
now he's playing with, like, now he's playing with the Yota Chad, the Yota Chad, and Yvatal and Kyo, I think is that off support. Who's like Chinese. I say no, he's not Chinese Jonak. Coldest is Chinese Jonak, but anyway.
Exactly.
Kyo's pretty decent. Like Chengdu, Chengdu have been the shock of the stage. Like overall, I'm glad with the parity that Overwatch League has this year. It's competitive. Like no game is a pushover. The only thing that annoys me is that teams like Philly, for example, can hard int and get in playoffs. Philly should never have been in playoffs, let's be honest. They were good. I'm sorry, I know you're a Philly fan, but you had the easiest schedule in the league. You still gave a free win. You still inted against Dallas Fuel and still, like, you know, you should have been.
I mean, Philly should have been 7-0, right?
You should have been 7-0. Yes,
you should have been 7-0.
You had the easiest schedule in the league. You played Spitfire, who didn't know how to play goats. You played LA. Did you play LAG and Hangzhou? No.
The thing, Philly's schedule overall was
anyway
not hard.
Your schedule was very easy, and the 2 losses, one of them was totally bullshit, and you should have beaten Florida if you want to be a good, consider yourself as a good team. Sorry, Philly fans. And then
the thing is, this is the same team that went to 5 maps with the Dragons last season.
Exactly.
Just a Philly thing. It's just a Philly thing.
Someone tweeted out that Philly play down to the level of their opponents.
I can totally see it.
It definitely is. Like, they'll play about equal to the level of their opponents, and if their opponents manage to raise their game, then Jesus.
I mean, we saw it in playoffs. We saw it in the finals as well. Until Spitfire went total mayhem in the finals.
Oh yeah, they didn't play the Spitfires level. Like Spitfire shattered them, but like.
Yeah, I mean they did pretty well in the first game. They were pretty competitive, but after that it was just.
Spitfire were perfect.
Gone.
Spitfire were perfect for that matter. That was the thing. Like 2 sniper players.
It was like they were running a 100-meter sprint, but the fucking Philadelphia Fusion runner was a marathon runner, and the Spitfire runner was Usain Bolt.
Or like the Philadelphia person was
gone.
Just in a wheelchair.
Basically, it just was too much. It was too much for them, and it was over.
Is there any other news that we haven't? So we've done Jin to.
I mean, we have we mentioned Damon, who went to Blank Esports, the Damon from Shanghai Dragons, the Damon from Energy before that.
I dropped it in there on the way, yeah. So that's going to be exciting for Damon.
I hope. He's a good player. He's a very good hitscan player.
Defo.
I think he'll be fine there on Blank. And he's already in the team house as well. So he's playing non-high ping.
Pogu. Chronodota left 2nd gen for the NA fans. Chronodota's floated around a lot.
He has been floating around a lot.
Thibbledork, or the Seagull Man guy, whatever. LAV and Mayhem still have roster announcements to be done.
Yeah. Do we have any
hopefully.
Predictions on what that could be?
Fuck knows, dude.
I mean, no clue at all. What do we want on Mayhem? I mean, there's a lot of things we want from Mayhem. A lot of things that basically need to go out of Mayhem and into Mayhem from somewhere else.
They're going to need a bigger bus, though. That's the thing. If they get more players, they're going to need a bigger bus, dude. That's expensive.
They're gonna need an actual bus driver, maybe.
Jose's unemployed at the moment.
I feel like Tufik can just. I mean, Tufik has been warming the bench all fucking day, right?
True.
So just drive the bus anyway. I mean, you gotta have some skill to drive like a 12-seater bus, right?
Because the thing
props to Tufik.
Defo. The thing with Florida is, their backline is the thinnest. Their backline is the thinnest, but it's actually their best though. I think out of all the sections in the team,
I think so too.
Chris and Harjo are like the bright spots.
They're alright.
They brought in McGravy. They brought in McGravy. The bright spots for Florida anyway. Yeah, so they're still middle pack, but they're decent. They're acceptable. Like, they haven't been the hard inters compared to everyone else on the team. I've just been like woefully atrocious and discoordinated. And
I mean, there's so much wrong with Florida for the past stage and season before that. The org really needs to rethink whatever the fuck they're doing there. Basically, I mean, we can. There's some other teams where we can say the same thing about. Washington Justice.
They have Arc now, though. They have Arc.
Yeah, they have Arc, and they dropped Phasix to a glorified streamer. Unfortunate, dude. Unlucky. Shouldn't have beat it in Grav and died 3 times in a row.
Oh, Madalore.
Unlucky, dude.
My dad beats me. My mom beats me. Give me to Ajax. He can't beat anybody. Fam, this podcast is toxic, right? Yeah.
Atlanta Academy actually did some great signings over. Astro, yes.
He's back.
And he's a 2-way as well. Are we maybe going to see him on the main roster?
Probably not, no. Because
Because
Mars is just a god.
Masa's very good. Yeah.
Mars is like his play style, but just at Overwatch lead level. Like,
But why would you sign Astro as a two-way though? Is it literally just for future reference? Maybe
they don't
set like resale value, something like that?
they don't have a backup main support, so
I guess so. So in their
and yeah,
Masa literally is dying while playing on stage.
he'll
They can put him in.
he'll probably play in contendies, I think,
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I don't know what
over
Ajax has been doing,
over
but
Ajax. I mean, to be fair, I memed on Ajax, but that was just like three kind of unfortunate beats from watching it. Like Ajax has improved.
in
He's
the
improved a lot.
finals, yeah.
Like I will admit, like Ajax is in terms of NA main supports in tier 2, he is up there. I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. I'm not out here to fucking shit talk pros because the man.
I mean, he is part of the team that got
Yeah.
to the final, right? Like it's not like he's not on the team.
Exactly. I can respect the grind. The man has improved so much.
Oh, for sure.
He was good the rest of the tournament for all the games. And he was even decent in the final. He just got unlucky on a
He
few
just
beats
fucked
basically.
up.
Yeah, he just made a couple of mistakes in the finals. Or to be fair, he got unlucky for one of them. He got booped off the match by a random bridge flail. I was about to say flig rail.
Yeah,
by a
but
man.
still, like you can say unlucky, but it doesn't happen to Elk on the other side.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's just being like that's. I feel like things like that is what really separates the top players, the top 1%.
They're not in the
from
position
the
to
10%
yeah.
under that.
Like he's not in the position to get punished like that, for example, or to
Like
get
the thing
unlucky.
is, yeah, the thing is that's the way like people will say like Violet is getting close to Jonik and stuff like that. You see the stats, like yeah, he's pretty close on stats, but does Violet ever get the extreme value, so much consistency that as Jonik gets?
No.
No, he doesn't. And
Twilight's a better
until
entry
he
frag.
does, Twilight is very much on his way there, though.
Twilight's a better entry
Probably
frag.
on par
In
already.
terms of like entry fragging and just clicking on the other Zenyatta or getting like a bit of a cheeky orb volley, which means you can speed on, or the pressure bubbles. Violet's up there. Like Violet's
I feel like Violet
Twilight,
and,
sorry,
and
Twilight.
Twilight
I meant
combined
Twilight
are better
there.
than Jonak. But like I feel like Twilight needs to have his more defensive old usage things boosted up, and Twilight needs to have his pure fragger getting picks side.
I mean, Twilight's still been really pog though.
Yeah, I feel like
fragging-wise.
Twilight's just right below Jonak on stage, like literally right below.
Mm.
Like a couple more good games in stage 2, and he'll pass him. In
This
my
is
opinion.
it's on stream. This is what pissed Sleepy off. Just people like, oh, he's worse. It's like, just because he's a fragger doesn't mean he's a better Zen. I'm like, it's meta, isn't it? But
Yeah, it just depends.
I mean, this metas are really good for Boombox because in the past Boombox has struggled with anyone being anywhere near him.
yeah,
But now that he's able to frag in the back as a Zenyatta with absolutely no pressure on him because no flankers to deal with,
yeah.
he's free to farm, dude. Like,
And Boombox is a tolerant goats, it seems. Hence the 2 losses when he wasn't there.
it's also a good fragger.
Yeah.
He was the
Uh,
OG. He was the OG with right clicks.
Yeah, Boombox for sure in the United days, damn.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I still remember back in 2017 the PIP championship final against Movistar Riders. Oh, that game was nuts.
Kids are not, dude.
I mean, it was I think it was Boombox back then on the United versus Dante on the Dutch Dante
Yeah.
on Movistar Risers, and they were both fragging Zenyatas, and they were just right clicking each other over the map the whole game.
I remember that. That was a fun fucking series, dude. I
That
need to
was great.
rewatch that one time.
Yeah, that was great. But anyway,
We have.
I think we should
you have
real
predictions.
quick-
Predictions.
yeah.
We'll
We
do
should just
them,
real quick look at the stage 2 overall predictions.
and then we'll get on to the last topic about the EU.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's all that's left.
So,
We are on
what do we see?
40 minutes, 44 at the moment.
What do we see meta-wise going into stage 2?
Uh,
Because
floats.
there has been talk. There has been talk.
Floats. Triple DPS.
I feel like the OG Ryan, Zarya, Diva, Rick, Zen, Lucio Goats is gonna fade in that
It's
form
going.
a little bit.
I think the scary thing about goats is now that what's the the meme of the two Spider-Men pointing at each other?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's Apex Season 4 Dive on one side, and it's Floats on the other side, because they're slowly merging into one, you know? Like,
yeah,
Goats is evolving into a Dive comp, because Dive was always, at its core, a strategy.
yeah,
You had if you had Mercy, your win condition was long range poke, or if you have a Lucio, your win condition is Death Bally, engage on them. And that's what Dive was. Dive was, I mean, it wasn't a Death Ball, but Death Ball is about finding a single target, whereas Dive was about finding the weakest target and jumping on them.
yeah.
So that's what Dive is. But now Floats and Dive are kind of like, it's almost like Floats is a variant of Dive now, and that I think that is the scary thing, because when you take a comp that's as skillful and effective as Dive when it's done well, and you
Yeah.
make it into something as sustained and as just as strong as Goats, then you've almost got like, what you have.
Like a super comp.
Yeah, you just have an unbreakable comp, and then you
But
know.
what happens when two teams play the unbreakable comp?
I mean,
That's the question,
you know
right?
what happened last time? Like, they had to design a hero to counter a. Well, it was to counter Tracer, but by countering Tracer, you effectively counter Dive. That's what Brig was like.
Thing is, we also in this new stage have Baptist
We do.
as the new hero. Do we see him change the meta up in any way?
No.
Because if
No.
I can just speak for myself, I don't see it happening.
No.
I feel like the only places he can be played is in bunker comps where he replaces Brick or Sen.
Maybe instead, if you're gonna run triple support in a bunker comp.
Yeah.
But then again, like, you want the Junkrat because Junkrat's strong again now, and then you want the McCree because McCree's really good in bunker. So
Yeah, but imagine Horizon A. Is Horizon in the map? Imagine Horizon A
no,
attack.
it's not. It's not in the map pool.
Which one? What's the map?
Pull it up while I talk about Baptiste.
I'll pull it up for you.
So Baptiste, I mean, he's been a lot of fun in my diamond games, my mid diamond games. I've scrimmed with him in my mid diamond scrims for about 3.4k against low masters teams, and I've even played him in gold with friends. That was how
Yeah.
well, I played with him. I've not played him personally, but
I have in
hell of a-
gold with
hell-
friends.
hell of a lot of fun.
Yes.
Fun hero. Immortality field. In ranked, super good ability.
Strong.
Because some tanks either don't go in or feed their fucking brains out. And if the tanks that don't go in, you had Lucio speed boost for them, or you couldn't do anything. But for the tanks that hard fed, you now have Immortality Field, and like that 3 or 4 seconds may not seem like a lot, but they're putting 250 HP and probably resources and time and effort into focusing the drone and not killing your main tank.
Yeah.
Which means he's creating space and not dying, which
Do
is
you know
good because
how much healing his right click actually does? Because
50,
I feel like it's kind of
50.
the same as Ana.
it does 50 per
50,
nade.
but
Yeah.
he has a higher
Healing output.
healing output because it does AoE, right? Like
Yeah.
you can shoot it at 2 or 3, and they all
Yeah,
get
it's
the
an AoE.
plus 50.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't know if you
'Cause
can
that's
shoot
why-
it. I don't know if you shoot it at someone and then it heals the person next to them as well. But I know if you shoot it like at feet, because I think it explodes on impact and it does like. A
Yeah, I
healing
think
burst.
it's the exploding thing.
Yeah,
But I feel like if people, because it's a projectile, of course, and it has
can be DM'd.
a certain trajectory,
Yes, that's the word in English.
bit like the junk. I think it looks most like the Junkrat.
Oh yeah, and
That's
the
like-
Zarya.
Just like
It's not-
like I feel like, but it's still a bit more easier to aim. I feel like when people actually get good at aiming his right click heal, he gets more playtime because
Oh,
it's a lot of clutch healing. And if you are able to hit Pharah's midair, which I have done, and if I can do it, probably Overwatch League players can do it too, because
Yeah.
it's kind of hard, but it's not as hard, you know.
No, I mean like
So
your Pharaohs are going to be probably playing lower to the floor because you're in a lower elo.
probably.
But again, exo boots on a high ground. Like it will be possible to hit them directly. I think it's quite a generous hitbox. Obviously the hitbox.
Yeah, it is a pretty generous.
Obviously
hitbox.
the hitbox and Overwatch are generous anyway. So
Anyway, in the stage 2 map pool,
yeah,
because I've pulled it up, and
hell yeah.
for like bunker comps are very popular most of the time on the assault maps, and for assault maps we do have Paris, of course, which is a new map.
Good map for
We
good map
have
for
Temple
dive.
of Anubis and Hanamura, and I feel like especially Hanamura is second. We've seen bunker comps. We've seen bunker comps and Temple of Anubis first, and Paris we haven't seen at all in pro play. what I see from my ranked games, it's a very good dive map with very open points, both A and B.
Most of the time I play Paris, I'm playing with friends in lower elo, so I just play Bastion, and they just pocket the shit out of me. But
You can do
higher,
that too.
higher, it seems very goats. Oh, actually, I've played 3 scrims with Paris so far, and I've hit every time on second point. I've hit a 4K Diva bomb.
It's
at least
super
once.
open. It's insane. You can throw it. You can angle your diva bomb on the fucking statue in the middle,
Yeah,
and then they
float it
never
off.
know which side it falls off. If you're able to do it right, you get easy 3 for
Yeah. I just drop it, so most of the time it like just peeks over at the last minute. But
Yeah.
like, it's quite wide open. Like, it
Yeah,
takes,
I like the design of the map very much as UCP because both points are very open. Only the first point has like a very choke through, but if you're playing tank comps, if you're playing goats, it's very easy to speed through
It's
and not take as much damage. So you can
open.
go right side, wrap around through the buildings, and you're basically at the point already without taking any damage.
open, but not a lot of high ground.
True.
Which means Sombra isn't the best, which is weird because 2CP is normally like Sombra heaven.
Yeah, no, that's true.
I still think she'll be good there though.
Yeah. We also have King's Row and Blizzard World, which are also sometimes popularized by Bunker comps on first.
Triple DPS spam comps. Farah will be seen on Blizzard World, I imagine. Farah
Yeah, especially on second and first.
Hammond's
on
nutty.
first, yeah.
Hammond is nutty on Blizzard World for the first 2 points. Last point will
We
probably
have
be
seen-
Goats,
yeah.
but
We have seen Blizzard World recently in contenders with, I think, was the live patch or 1.33.
yeah.
And Blizzard World was basically, you had 50-50 basically, or the team played Goats the whole map, or there was a team that played
Triple
DPS, quad DPS for the first point, and then swapped to
Yeah.
Goats.
Are there 2 payload maps? Oh, 2 of the 3 payload maps. Isn't it like Gibraltar and Junkertown?
It is Gibraltar, Rialto, and
I love that map pool. Like, that's like 3 of my favorite maps right there, my guy.
Junkertown. We might see some Young Shalong Widow McCree action. If it ever comes down to that.
Or see some fucking Bedos and Bastion. Jonite Bastion. You never know. Nah,
And
it won't
Watchpoint is the
happen.
most OG dive map in the entire game.
That map was built for dive, which is good.
Especially first point. Every time when you play your ranked games and people and people ask you to pick Reinhardt on first point defense, Watchpoint Gibraltar, you just laugh at them. Just laugh.
Only in gold, my guy.
Laugh in superiority.
Everyone above diamond knows that Winston is the king of Gibraltar.
It's insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean Rialto. I mean we've seen Rialto all stage, and Rialto has had some
It is a goat.
bit diversity.
It's like second.
first.
It's like second point Kings Row, I think. Like
Yeah.
streets of Kings Row. That's basically what it is. That first point. It's goats on Rialto, which is fine. Like Rialto's good for Ranzaria.
I feel like the only maps you can probably see diversity on is some of the maps on Control, like Busan. Which one was it? Sanctuary, the one
With the
with
drum.
the pagoda in the middle.
Yeah. I call it Control. Sanctuary, yeah. Mecha Base.
Yeah.
Mecha Base has been good for quad DPS. Just how
Yeah,
open it is.
actually, all Busan maps have seen quad EPS playtime. Also, city
What's the
city
third
streets or
Busan?
downtown.
Yep.
As well.
All 3 Busan maps, yeah.
Yeah, and Oasis we have. I mean, Gardens is generally a very good fire map, but I kind of see a lot of
Farah's good on all of Oasis maps.
That's true, but
I think they will.
especially Gardens.
I think Farah Sombra is going to be a good dive comp. I think London, if London can lock down Farah Sombra
What about Chengdu?
with
The gym move Farah.
yeah, who plays
We've seen
Sombra
that,
though?
and it's godlike.
Who plays Sombra for them though? I guess it'd have to be Elsa still. I mean, Elsa's Sombra is fine because if they swap off the Farah Sombra, they just.
I'm just happy Li Jiang is back in the map pool because we didn't have Li Jiang in the map pool. Right?
No, I don't think so.
Oasis, Busan. Oh no, we didn't have Oasis. We had Ilios, Busan,
Nepal.
Nepal. Yeah, I'm just happy Li Jiang is back in the map pool because Li Jiang Gardens is one of my favorite points of all time. And it's just great. And we might see some Winston action, and we're definitely going to see some Yoda Chet Amen Hammond action on that point.
We have Control Center as well, which is we might see some May. We might see some May goats.
We've seen it a lot, for sure. But the thing is, we've always seen May goats on Control Center, and also at the start of the league, first 1 or 2 weeks on Busan Mecha Base. The teams seem to fell out of favor with it.
Mm.
So we'll see. And maybe some teams will try it out. I can totally see Tafik whipping it out again for some reason and still getting slapped by any team except for the Justice. So
How yeah.
who knows?
We are seeing. I think we're getting there slowly. Avast did a really nice article. I don't know if you've read it about how even still he put out a subtweet and then he did an article and a video about it. But like the problem with goats still Brig and Diva, like still, and I think
Yeah.
he was saying they need change. Like
I feel like
even
it's
more.
still mainly Brick though, because we've seen Diva swapped out for many a hero. Sombra for a DPS, for Rodok in the fucking World Cup on Kib. You know, it's just the insane sustainability and appeal that Brick brings in this comp. I think that still hurts goats the most. Or hurts, yeah, I mean, favors goats the most.
The thing is, Diva is the high ground contest. Like Diva's such an efficient hero.
Yeah, I mean, still, people played May goats, like fucking Windstrike played May goats all the time for like 2 seasons,
True.
and it worked pretty well for them. And
But
we've
yeah,
seen summer goats as well.
if you like killed Brig, then yeah, goats would die because Dive would be good again. Like if you kill
Yeah.
Brig,
Tracer becomes meta, Genji
yeah,
becomes
you
meta,
don't,
easy.
if you make Brig not good, then but as long as Brig is still like an acceptable dive counter,
Yeah.
she's gonna be around. But I mean I didn't mind her seeing in the initial iterations as like in a bunker comp or even in dive. Like people played like London played like McCree, dive tanks, Mercy Zen Brig, like with McCree, and they just played like a really sort of weird style of dive
hmm
with their tanks. But I don't mind that. But obviously, I'm at the point now where I'm a bit frustrated with goats, especially as
There
as
was
a
this
viewer.
amazing Reddit thread about this one Reddit user who basically who had a common history of basically shitting on every meta that has ever happened in Overwatch and saying it's the worst meta
Brilliant.
to ever exist, and that
That's
every
like-
meta before that was better.
It's like every fan though, dude. It's like every
Yeah,
fan.
but it's hilarious to see.
Brilliant.
There's actually another small announcement is that we now have a tiebreaker week in stage 2, and to read it out is we also be adding some additional tiebreakers to minimize the odds of a tie for seeding in the stage and regular season playoffs. And details will be
Nice.
announced at a later date. What could this be? Because I feel like we're not going back to the Nate Nancer coin flip again.
No, remember
Let's not do that fiasco again. But I feel like how do they minimize this? Because I feel like there's a very little chance of minimizing it since we only have 7 games per stage.
So the way
Like-
it's done at the moment, isn't it a head-to-head and map differential? If they have the same map differential,
Yeah. Let me check real quick what the standings were so I can.
if they have the same,
Um,
if they have the same map differential, then they do based on the head-to-head record.
I don't
But-
think they have even looked at.
The thing with the
Head-to-head.
schedule is that head-to-head hasn't mattered yet because no teams have played each other yet.
Exactly.
So that'll
Because
be later, but
what I think they should do is look at map wins and losses. They first go for the amount of wins, then they go to the map differential, and then they go to total map wins to look for tiebreakers.
can you have a same map differential with more map wins?
Yes, because of the draws, right?
Oh, true, dude. I was gonna
So-
say just based off
Because here, if you go at
Like
the
where you are-
standings for stage 1 real quick, you see that both the Toronto Defiant and the Philadelphia Fusion have a 5-2 record
yeah,
and +5 map differential, but the Philly
have
has
more map
won
wins.
more map wins than
Ah.
Toronto because of one more draw. And if you see at Sunfront and Seoul also had to play a tiebreaker, you see that Sunfront actually has one more map win than Seoul.
That's
But they still had
interesting.
to play a tiebreaker, and you're like, if you really want map wins to be super important, because you're hammering on that during broadcast like fucking 30 times
Yeah,
during
they
a
do.
match, it's like, yeah, this 4th map is still really important because map score end of the season. And
The
like,
thing is,
yeah.
it is now for stage playoffs when teams only play 7 games. Like it's so tight. Like London
It
could
is
have made
important. but
London could have been a 4 seed or a top seed if they don't drop to Seoul and Shanghai. If
Yeah,
they don't lose to Seoul and they beat Shanghai, or if they lose to Seoul and
but I feel like this is the
beat Shanghai, then
easiest. I feel like this is the easiest solution, right? Like
yeah.
you just have just look at wins first, then differential, then map wins,
Mm.
map losses, and then map ties. If you still need tight maps, but like it's super easy. Like I didn't never really understood why they actually needed a tiebreaker. That's maybe just
So one, yeah. So obviously I've said earlier my issue was with scheduling, but one thing I think also is going to have to change. This is actually apparent. I know you're not into basketball, are you? Or are you?
mm-hmm.
Um, Conferences, because conferences in the NBA and they've gotten rid of them for the All Star games. So conferences, well, they still matter, but the whole idea is that if you're unfamiliar, it's the idea that the West in the NBA is stacked as fuck, and teams get in, um, having won like 46 games, 47 games, getting like an 8th seed. Whereas in the East, if you get 41 wins or 42 wins, which is just even, in case anyone is aware, so that teams can be well above 500, 500 being
Yeah.
point 500 win percentage. So like 41 and 41 in the East, in some seeds, gets you a 7th or an 8th seed or even a 6th seed. Whereas in the West, that gets you like the 10th seed, so not even in the playoffs. Like that gets you well outside of it. And
Yeah.
I feel like this is going to become the problem. Like New York went 7-0, had an easy schedule, and they're playing in the Atlantic, I think it is. Like the Atlantic is so
Um,
easier compared to the Pacific, and I feel like that is going to be a problem because teams are like Philly, are gonna get boosted seeds because they're playing against shitter teams, and they can't
yeah,
do
that's
anything about that because
but that's an overall. I feel like that's just an overall scheduling issue
it
that
is. The thing is,
because I've always think like you have 20 teams, you just play each team twice, which gives you 38 games, which is like the same as in the Premier League
yeah,
in
exactly.
football in Britain, and you have 38 games, but you just make the season longer.
Yeah, or just
If it's so hard, just make
this
the
is
season
this is the
longer.
thing. Like they want they want stage playoffs to make it exciting and give teams incentive to money, which is fine. But like the scheduling show is dumb. 7 games over 5 weeks is dumb. Teams not playing in a week and playing two in another is dumb. Like I preferred it how it was last season. You played everyone apart from one. You played 2 games a week. It was a lot of games, admittedly, but
I feel like
you
they
can
could
cut it
have
down.
the overall the schedule for last season was better,
Yeah, I
but they should
enjoyed
have
it
just
more.
stretched it out more. I'm
Definitely.
happy they're stretching it out now, but now they're stretching out while it's not really needed.
Yeah.
Like it's just a weird situation to
Also, the thing is, like, there was a lot of needless games last year. Like, no one watched Stage 4 or Stage 3, um, Shanghai versus Florida. Like, no one did, because it was a shit game. Like, and it just, like,
yeah.
I think that was the goal of it, to make, for example, like, Florida versus Valiant at the moment. Like, no one wants to see that, like, 3 times a stage. Or, like, once every stage, Like,
Yeah.
but there's better
But at
teams now,
least
so I don't
because
know how you'd fix it.
there's new teams now, because the top at the end of the season, the top 12 teams are all competing for basically if you end in the top 12, you still have a shot at winning. If you end 12th in the regular season, you can still win the Overwatch League. Right? Because your you now have your like standard playoffs,
Yes, yeah, yeah.
the top six, and then the other six to the 12th. There's more going on now.
There
You
is
have like
chance as well. For
yeah,
example, if you've had like a rough schedule and you in a run meta, for example, like London have, like you know, winnable
yeah.
games in a not very good meta for them, and they've adapted and stuff like that, then there is the chance that, for example, someone to sneak in. Like London, I think if London finish anywhere, I think it's top 2 teams that get playoffs
The top what
for the
per
season playoffs.
season
In the buy-in,
playoffs?
it's 8 to 12, isn't it? And then the top 2 get into playoffs.
Yes, because there's 8 teams.
So yeah, I think teams like London who can pop off in any meta as soon as they figure it out will just be. They won't give a shit who's in front of them. To be honest, they'll be trying to dodge the top 2 seeds. But if they get in as like the 6th or the 7th seed, I don't think they give a shit. I think they'll
Yeah,
be all right.
yeah, yeah. No, no, totally true. Yeah, I think we covered like overall we covered everything there
We
is to
have,
cover
yeah.
about stage 2 at the moment. We're going to see how it plays out in a little bit over 2 hours from
Yep.
this recording.
Mm.
So we're going to be very excited for Philly versus New York, which is
Yeah.
a rematch from the... Did they play the regular season playoffs last year? I think they did.
Yeah, they did. They played stage 2 because they Philly actually beat London in the stage 2 playoffs, and obviously they played
Yeah,
season playoffs as well.
exactly. So this is a pretty heated confrontation we'll get in here
I think
tonight.
New York should probably take this.
I think so too. But let's go to our last subject,
Our
and
last
that's
topic.
because we are still chauvinistic Europeans, and we
Yep.
still want to talk about that EU is actually a really good region, really good players.
Paris, just like China, just like Shanghai Season 1, is not a representative of EU. So,
We are going to make, in the little time
we
we have
did.
left, we are going to make a
About 10
EU
minutes or
super
so.
team of... How many players are we going to do?
Let's do 9. Let's do 3 per position.
9.
1 main tank, and then at least, and then your sub can be...
A sub DPS and a sub support player.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
It can be anyone. Like either a flex, a hit scan, a main or off tank, or a main and off spot.
I feel like if you, I feel like we should start just at the main tank because we're goats meta and it's the most important position.
Are we building for
goats
Are we
meta.
building for goats meta, or are we building just in general?
We're building for if this team would go into stage 2.
Right. Okay. So floats meta, I guess.
Yeah,
Although,
I guess
saying
so.
that, we don't know what the meta is, so
Yeah,
we can
let's
be a
just
bit
say
more...
with the information we have on our hands
Isn't a
now,
lot.
going into stage 2.
Yeah.
So our main, I think main tank is not a big question. I feel like people are always saying that Fraggy should get more playtime and that he's the best EU main tank. I fully disagree with that, but I don't know
Fusions.
what you think about that.
I think fusion. I'm trying to list a few main tanks, unless
I feel like Fusion's Cloudy.
we haven't seen Cloudy, which is a limiting factor.
Yeah, but he has been so good on Giganti,
He
and
was
I have
really
no
good.
reason why
Although
he's
fusions,
not being played at
although
all.
because we addressed Ben Best com issues. I think at the moment, out of EU main tanks we've seen, which is like basically between Fusions and Ben Best, because every other team has a Korean or a North American.
Yeah, right. Do we really? Is there really no other like EU main tank? Which is weird because
I wouldn't
it's
take
very
any. I
rare
wouldn't
to
take
hear.
any in tier 2 at the moment. They're good, but they don't have the. I don't think anyone as good on Reinhardt.
I
and
feel
can
like
match
if
on,
you
and can
want
match on Winston.
I feel like if you want to put an EU super team on a main tank, and you would just pick someone who everyone might not know as much, might not know as much. We could go for Cloudy on this spot because I feel like everyone knows Fusions. Everyone knows he has an insane Reinhardt. Prove this man is absolute giga chat at this game in the meta. But I feel like
Minecraft
Cloudy.
Steve.
I feel like Cloudy has
Yeah, let's go for Cloudy then.
the absolute potential.
Let's
to...
go for Cloudy. We'll get a visual up in post, I think. Well, I say we.
I'm
I
just
say
doing
we.
it right now.
I say we. Someone will put a visual up in post because I won't be doing it because I'll be sleeping because I'm ill.
I'll
Off tank.
probably.
I think off
Yeah.
tanks. Is off tank an easy one?
I don't know. What do you think?
So the EU off tanks.
I think they're pretty stacked.
Finzi.
Finzi, RCK.
Finzi, RCK.
Nevix, of course.
Nevix. Yeah. Shao from Paris Academy. Happy cool.
Yeah, but Shaw has been dropping, fortunately. Especially this season. Happy, of course, yes. Sapis still. He's been doing very well on Giganti. Elevode on Team
Ellie.
Envy.
Emil. Probably not
Emil,
up there.
yeah.
Tech.
I wouldn't rate him as Elevode.
No, I don't think we can call. Yeah, as good as Tech and me and Elivote have been, I don't think they're seriously up there.
Not yet, no. I think Elevode especially has the potential with his move to Team Envy now and Team
Same with main times actually.
slapping in contenders at the moment.
I'm thinking if Dre watches this, he'll be ignored at us because mad at us because we missed Lulshish.
Of course,
the main
Lolsish, yeah, but I still rate Cloudy over Lolsish.
Forget about him. Yeah, I do too.
But yeah, I think for off tank, I think it's between Nevix, RCK, and I feel like we should put a contenders off tank up there, and then I would say Happy Cool as well because he's the most consistently proven off tank in contenders at the moment, especially
Happy.
from EU.
I'd put
Yeah.
Happy as the sub, and I think.
I think we should do
Finzi.
Nevix
Oh no, never.
or Finzi.
Yeah, no, no.
Finzi, of course. Yeah. Do we rate Finzi or Nevix
No,
or
I rate.
RCK?
No,
I think
I
that's.
rate. I rate Nevix. And.
I rate
Fin-
Nevix too as
If
well.
you want to be going strongest, if you want to do a contenders on the side, Happy. If you don't want to go for strongest roster, Nevix
I feel like-
and Happy. Because Nevix can play other roles as well. So.
Yeah, but then you should have net. But I feel like you're over.
Oh, your mic's disconnecting. Damn it.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're fine.
All right, maybe I should just get a bit closer.
Yeah, maybe you should.
Technical difficulties. Anyway.
So, Nevix and
We can just have Nevix as an overall sub on this team.
you don't want to start Nevix?
I feel like we're really underrating Finzi's diva.
Yeah, true. But also, like, Nevix is really good, dude. Like,
He is
he
though.
is. Like, Choi.
He is.
It's like.
I feel like he's just under Choyobin.
It's
Like
ju-
just under.
Yeah, but think how good Choi is. Like, this to me
Yeah.
is Gesture versus Fisher season 1. It's like, Fisher isn't bad, he just wasn't better
Yeah.
for
And I feel like Choi is also mainly starting because they have
Smurf. Oh, no,
not
they have
Smurf. They have Violet
Yeah.
and Rascal as well playing.
Yeah, they have more. They have Koreans in there, don't they?
So they get Choi, who already has experience in a mixed roster,
Mm.
in there instead of Nevix.
Who's
But-
next to a more Western one? Like, Choi is
feel
still
like-
Podders.
Yeah, for
I-
sure.
I
I think
want-
Nevix is right under there.
I want Nevix in there.
Yeah, we can do Nevix. I'm always happy to put Nevix on any roster.
Nevix is good, dude. Like, he's criminally underrated. Like, if any, I'm trying to think of teams that needed a main tank. Honestly, Dallas could have used him. Like, any team that needs an off tank now, Nevix is definitely a spot for them.
True. Probably fucking Washington, dude. They still run with fucking Samsung.
He's sometimes been all right for them, to be fair.
Yeah, but is he better? Is he? No, come on. Dude.
Korean though, you don't remember?
Yeah, screw. Of course, he gets an advantage, instant advantage because of the nationality. Pagu.
Yeah, no, I was thinking because of the language barrier.
Oh sure.
Because of
They still
Janus.
play. They still play Phasics though.
Not anymore. They'll be playing Arc.
No, not anymore.
Yeah, Yoink, Arc, Guido, a full Korean team now. We Florida Mayhem 2.0 boys. 3.0. sorry.
Still Corey on the Zarya though.
Please kill me.
Anyway,
Please kill me.
we need to go to main DPS or the Zarya player / DPS.
Okay, dude.
Who do we have there?
I just
I
have
think
to-
it's an easy choice.
The Fran retired. My option is Spectral.
I would put Davin over Spectral though.
Can we have them both? No.
Yeah,
no,
no,
need to sub, 'cause
I
it's
think
better.
Davin deserves it in so many more ways and has proven it as well.
Is Davin really the best EU Zarya that we have? Oh my god, he might be.
I think he is, and I think
So
we
the
should
fr-
be happy he is
the-
because he is fucking good.
Yeah, but he's not in Overwatch League though, is he? The Fran is retired, which is a medal all, because he actually would
Yeah,
have
but
been.
the friend also went from ladder to over and popped
True.
the fuck off.
True, Davin probably still would pop the foot off, the guy is or not.
Because RCK popped the fuck off, and on his Sombra as well, and he's pretty solid on Diva. And his other teammates, Masa's doing well, other old teammates.
Yeah, no, we can see it. I'm pretty sure I made a point about the gap being not that big, so I
But
can't
we're
really
gonna go
disagree with
into
you here.
subs later, and maybe we
Yeah, so
extend the subs to a 6-man
tanks are.
sub roster. Anyway, main DPS, we're going to flex DPS now.
So we've got Cloud.
Fortunately, the person in Brick.
Did we
prison.
almost just hard build Didante? Just hard build last season's Didante with Cloudy, RCK.
No, we have
Davin.
Navix in there.
Yeah, so Cloudy, Nevix, Davin,
And then we go to our Brick
Brig,
player, or
Nico.
the Brick.
Nico.
Yeah, I still think Nico. I think Nico is still getting underrated. I really good break, but people just always kind of overlook him or downplay him for
He's-
some reason.
He's a really good bridging goats, but
He is very good.
he's a good
Brig
brig, but
goats.
I'm not sure about his other stuff. I'm
Is
not sure
there
about
another EU player, you fucking facility, on Giganti right now? He's been doing very well and is super flexible.
Mm.
And we know he has had tryouts for Overwatch League teams, but he tweeted out that he got food poisoning during tryouts and he couldn't actually 100%
Oof.
perform in them.
That's fucking unlucky. Dude.
Probably the only reason why he's not in Overwatch League right now, and Danya is. Those are the rumors. But I don't know. I think Facility, if we're gonna look at people from contenders, I think Facility is actually a really good shout.
Viz is a shout, as is Danid and Suna from the Spitfires Hurricane Academy.
True, but is
British
Hurricane Academy actually like doing well this season? I think they're kind of
sure
okay-ish.
Are they not a top seed?
I'm gonna pull it up yet again.
Oh,
actually,
and also...
they just 3-0 Giganti just now.
There you go.
Holy
there you go. Oh, and of course,
that just happened. Angry Titans and British Hurricane are 5-0. Giganti is 4-1.
That first loss being to Spitfire. So if we're talking about Azarias, we missed Morningstar's hardest.
True, but he's not flexible though.
No, he's not flexible. But again, it depends if we're going for meta. If overall flexibility, I'd still take Davin. Even though Davin is not the most flexible, he's kind of like Decay, but he has a better Widow. He plays Tracer, Widow.
And McCree very good as well.
A decent McCree, and then a pretty Pod Zarya. But
yeah,
again, like, just because he can't play, he's not showing more heroes doesn't mean he can't play them, you know? I'm pretty sure Davin's junk has been pretty tasty when it's needed to be. So, like, he's clearly decently flexible, you know? It's not like he's a one-trick, for example.
Yeah,
like anyone with a brain can play junk to a high level, and he has proved that. So, still take Davin. On the brig, I think Nico.
If we're actually only gonna look at brig, then yeah, we should take Nico. But I feel
overall flex DPS.
I think it's a really good shout.
It's a shame.
Or Urki maybe from Grid Titans. Though I never really rated him super highly.
Shadowburn Dan's game.
Oof. Yeah, Shadowburn has really not been doing it for
me. Feels bad, man.
We also have Leaf on the French Leaf. 20 stars.
Leaf.
Yes. French Leaf. Actually, we talked about off-tanks, but we completely forgot Poco in off.
Oh, we fucking did as well, didn't we? Oh my god.
We actually did.
We're just retards. We're retards, dude.
We'll just put him on the bench, or I'll just put him on. We'll put him on the bench. We'll just keep Nevix in there.
I mean, I still rate Nevix over Poco. Because Poco's like, I think Poco's getting hyped up a lot because he's perfect for Goat's meta, because he hits pretty consistent bombs. Yeah. Although saying this, he has been the best adaptation to the new DM matrix. So I think right now, the best EU off-tank definitely is Poco. Fuck, dude. How did we forget about the shower man?
How did we forget about the absolute French Chad?
His fucking jawline, just damn.
Yeah,
let's put Poco in over Nevix.
I already put him back in there. Yeah, I'm sorry, Nevix, you're going on the bench, boy.
We're sorry. There's gonna be someone watching this podcast that's clicked off. Just no, the disrespect to Poco, man.
The disrespect to this French
overlord. Wait, do we count EQO as a European player?
Yeah, of course. I mean, he's from Israel, right?
Is Israel,
and he's playing European ladder as well.
Is Israel EU? Can we count EQO as a European player?
We can absolutely.
I'll put EQO in then because his brig's improved and he's just a better.
And he's just insane on every other hero.
He is the best Western DPS. Like, he is
overall.
Yeah, he is the best Western DPS. EQO's a nut.
Right. After we are going to flex support. We got a couple of good shouts on flex support. The EU is a very stacked on flex support.
It's stacked on support in general.
That is certainly true.
Right, let's go back and forth as a little tennis game. Name a good EU flex support. I'll start. Big Goose. No, Shaz. Fuck. I failed on the first one. Okay, EU flex supports. Shaz. Who have you got?
Right. That was my pick as well.
We'll just tennis it back and forth. See how many we can get. Shaz.
Boombox, of course.
Shaz. Boombox. Kodak.
Oh, that was my pick as well. Unco.
Okay. EU. Who's
What
horrible?
about Zuppe, Axarath,
Zupe, Etarath,
Block 1, although he's never going to go into Overwatch League.
no.
A Fox from Angry Titans, who are
Yep.
5-0 right now.
Scalar.
Scalar, of course. Who was the win strike? Was it Ang or Main?
Eng. No.
Is he
Main.
not playing
Main.
on?
Main. Eng is the main support for 1 point at the moment.
Yeah, Main is not playing any.
No, Main's not playing at the moment. He was good.
Just Spears on Eternal Academy, but he has not impressed me at all. Like support.
Let me pull up.
Unfortunately.
I'm gonna pull up Sideshow's video for reference on the EU Super Teams.
But I think it's a pretty we can keep going, but I think it's a pretty easy choice. Do you
Shaz.
prefer Boombox or do you prefer Shaz?
You're not
I
having
prefer
Unco
Shaz.
in there.
Huh?
You're not considering Unco.
I would consider Shaz over Unco.
I think
I feel
out of
Unco.
all the ones that we've named, unless we've missed one, I'd definitely put Shaz there. Shaz is a fucking nut, dude. Like he is.
I feel you never actually see him making mistakes, in my opinion. I never am like watching a Gladiators
Yo,
match
we
to
dead
be
ass.
like,
We dead ass forgot about Lynx, so my guy.
Linkser.
Yeah, flex DPS. No.
Linkser's not even playing. Doesn't he even have a?
AKM as a hit stand. AKM.
No.
No, you not think?
I mean, AKM is good, but is he? I don't feel like he has the Zarya down in Goats meta as
AKM?
Devin does.
AKM Zarya's been pretty good though.
Has been pretty good though, but you gotta know that Fuel has been playing some Rigos.
True.
I feel like there's no one in EU at the moment that rival. I mean, there's people that rival him, but I feel like there's no one at the moment better in this meta on Zarya than Devin. Even
Obviously,
though he's not in Overwatch League.
Kib is a shout for flex DPS as well. Just his break's pretty nutty, but I don't think he's as flexible
As EQO.
as EQO now, or just as good.
Yeah.
No, I think.
But I'm pretty happy with what we got so far.
Do we
Cloudy,
go-
Poco,
do we
Devin, EQO, Shaz.
Do we go Big Goose? Or Marsa? I think
Big
the options
Goose-
are Big Goose, Cruise, Marsa.
I feel like Cruz is not up there at the moment.
No.
And
Cruz,
it's actually funny that the top two are just two Giganti supports.
Cruise's Mercy is Blair. Goose's Mercy is Blair.
Masa, I've never seen Masa play.
I've seen Cruz play Mercy and it's been very lackluster.
Really? I thought Cruz Mercy was always pretty good in Double Sniper.
Nah, it's dog shit, dude. It was when he went over to NA to play for Toronto Esports. Yeah, his Mercy was it wasn't the best.
Well, I guess I'll take the word for it. I feel like Big Use as I can't judge. I feel like we're not gonna go after Lucio for a long time.
Neptuno. We know how good
Ooh.
Neptuno's Mercy is. I've said for a while it's overrated, but I'm like, it was a good Mercy. Like, good teams are built on good main supports, and like Neptuno is good.
Do we rate Neptuno as the best overall main support then? Because I feel like his Lucio is just as good as
his Lucio. I think is significantly weaker than Shaz and Big Goose is, but his Mercy shits on both of theirs. I think it definitely shits on Big Goose's. Marsa's is. I want to go Marsa, dude. Like when Marsa pops off, he's fucking unbelievable. Like he's so good.
Marsa's really good, and I feel like since we're building for stage 2. We're gonna just see
We
Lucio
might see a
anyway.
bit of Sniper. We might see a bit of Sniper Mercy, like solo Mercy. Here's the thing: if we get into any sort of Sniper meta, I want Neptuno.
I think we'll just put Masa there for now, and we're
Neptuno
just
on the
gonna
bench.
make a 6-man bench as
Yeah,
well, dude. Fuck it.
put Neptuno on the bench, okay, and then we'll wrap this shit up.
We're gonna make a quick bench. We have six starters now: are Cloudy, Poco, Devin, Ikeo, Shaz.
That's a fucking stacked team, you know, dude. That team would make top playoffs easily.
And our bench now has Neptuno.
Yep.
As well, and
As
for
Nevix.
flex support.
We have Nevix on there as well.
Flex support. We have
Unco, or I haven't. Reaper's pretty good, but we haven't seen. We haven't seen
No,
him.
no, I would still rate Anko over
Let's
him.
go Unco then.
And then flex DPS, we got who did we say?
We said
Other
Nico.
Yeah, Nico. We should.
Kib is an option, as is Linkser.
No, Linkster's main DPS though.
Linkser, no, he's a flex, isn't he? He's not a hit stun.
I mean, he's been playing Widow, Diva, McCree like all day, right?
True. He's like Fletter though. Like he was in the
Yeah,
dive.
yeah, true.
If
He
we're
was a
class-
Genji one trick at one point.
He was the Genji. He was the Genji player, but he was only playing Tracer because the Outlaws didn't have a Tracer. But I
And,
think it's Lynx is the problem with. I think it's either Lynx or Nico. I don't think.
I just have Nico there. I think we
don't-
should just put Nico deserves the spot.
I don't think we're rating Shadowburn or someone like
No.
that. No.
So on main DPS, if we have Davin already, who would we-
Nico's Widow isn't that good though.
yeah, but we have Davin for that, and maybe we can now put someone else on main DPS on
True.
the bench.
Spectral.
Are we actually going for 2 contenders players for the Zarya main DPS spot?
Yeah, because EU players are the best. I mean, in terms of EU's areas and understanding goats matter.
Yeah.
I think if you put Spectral on Dallas, he does
As well.
at least equal, if not more, than AKM can do at the moment. Like AKM's been really good on Zarya. Don't get me wrong, but Spectral's a nut.
Is he good? Is he better weighted than AKM?
No, I don't think so.
I feel like we should just put AKM there, just because of his hero pool as well. His soldiers, Zarya, McCree, Widow, Sombra.
His trace is not the best though.
No, but we have
But-
Davin,
We have Davin, and we
who is
have
an absolute nut. We're just gonna put AKM there because we gotta wrap it up at some point.
and a Farah as well. Yeah,
And we have
AKM for the AKM's far. AKM's Farah is really
Vix
good. I mean,
already
Nevix
on
can
the
play.
bench,
Nevix can play Genji if we shit the bed and need a Genji player.
or Ana, dude.
Yeah, or anything.
Anything. Who cares, dude?
What was the sub main tank?
Yeah. What was the sub main tank?
We had
Have
Cloudy.
we actually?
Fusion.
We had
It's Fusion.
Cloudy. Yeah, if we're just gonna pick anyone, we just gotta put fusions there, right?
Yeah. Because then we've got a Winston and a Ryan. Fusion should have been on Paris, man. I don't know how they let him walk the slip away.
I don't know. I feel like Paris is pretty set on the 2 main tanks they picked up
Thing is, though,
from early on.
rotating 2 main tanks has never worked, though, has it? Let's be honest. Exactly. So. We need to find
So
one.
we got.
And the main
yeah.
support, we have a Big Goose instead of. Oh no, Neptuno. If we're starting.
The full team, how it's looking now. Main tank, we got first the starters. We got Cloudy, Poco.
Yep.
Gavin, Ikyo, Shazan, Masa.
Yep, naughty team.
And then on the bench we have Fusions, Nevix, AKM, Nico, Unco, and Neptuno,
Good team.
which is another nutty team. So
Yeah.
if we would put this team in stage 2, what would your guesses be that they would finish? Imagine this becomes Paris.
This becomes Paris. Obviously, we got to look at Paris's record, but I think
Let's just say stage, like the stage. Would they make stage playoffs?
so. It's a little sidetracked, but you've got to think because we're taking players from good teams, like we're taking Poco from Philly. You
Right.
know? So you've got to think if they replace them with, well,
Let's just imagine like in the fantasy world here that
Oh,
all
yeah.
these players get on one team and that the teams that they come from get a
Equal.
replacement player from somewhere who's equal as good,
yeah. So then the void is
Yeah.
filled then, and it's
basically.
basically like they never were on there at all.
And let's just only look at the stage 2. Like, will they make stage 2 playoffs? The top 8.
I think they do.
Would this team do
I think
that?
I think they can make a stage playoff definitely. I think they
I
could
think
make,
so too.
They could definitely make buy-in for season playoffs. I think if we're
For
putting,
sure.
I think if we're putting someone like Shanghai or Guangzhou or Hangzhou in for season playoffs, like at the bottom end, or somewhere like that at the moment.
Yeah.
I think if Paris went 3 and 4 in stage 1, this team makes playoffs easily. Surely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could definitely make a stage playoff. Maybe even a lower end of the seed.
I think this team will do fine, and I think this team represents more what's actually good in Europe
This is the thing that
instead of.
it's the same with China though, isn't it? Like China has all its talent scattered around, like Crystal on the bench, Dushui.
Yeah, Yeah, and a
leave.
bunch of them on hunters,
Yeah, exactly. And
and
most
a
of them
bunch
are
of them still on the academy teams. Kind of
Guangzhou as
like
well.
cold,
They've got Eileen and Only Wish. But yeah,
of course. But Only Wish is playing in
Mm,
contenders.
yeah, we'll do China next. We'll do should we do China next episode? No,
An
it's
all
World Cup.
Chinese, an
Oh,
all Chinese super team,
or do it all Asian region. Ah, it should be fucking Titans, wouldn't it? We'd have to do
probably.
another one.
We should just we might just do an all Chinese super team. We'll figure it out for next.
Yeah, I'll figure it out next time. Okay, this about wraps it up. We're about 1 hour 30 in.
We have
Um,
done a long.
it's been a long catch up. I've been ill. We've had internal issues. Um,
But we're good now.
obviously, we're good. If it's just going to be me and Ryu every week, that's what it is. That's how it's going to be. Um, we will get to talking about contenders. Well, there's still loads of contender stuff. We're both
But
super we're both super passionate about contenders. We just wanted to come on, ease back into it, have a bit of a chill, and talk about Overwatch League and just Overwatch World around it.
just a
Um,
lot of stuff happened
a
this
lot of
week.
stuff happened. We wanted to do
A lot of stuff.
a speed run through almost. I'll give you a chance to say goodbye, Ryu.
Yeah, no.
Link
Thank you guys all
socials.
for watching, listening, or whatever platform you use. You can follow me on Twitter at Ryu. That's RYU and 3 underscores.
So not Ryuku. Or did you
Nope.
change it?
Or is it? I actually do
It
not
is.
know.
It is. I'm pretty sure it's Ryuku with 3 underscores, my guy. Anyway.
I am failing in plugging my own Twitter, so I don't deserve to do it again.
Yeah.
It's your turn.
Yeah. Thanks guys for watching. I was we'll call me MC because I'm not really the main host. I'm co-host. Thanks Ryu for coming out. You can find
No
me on
problem.
Twitter at GCB_signact, or you'll find me in any Discord that isn't the London Spitfire one. Feels yikes, dude. Okay, thank you so much, guys, for watching. This hopefully should be out early next week. Yeah, take it easy. Peace.